All right, so from this exact example, we are going to be continuing our inventory, okay, from question number 1. Your inventory method is, again, periodic, but this time it is FIFO. Okay, wait, what did we do before? Did we do FIFO from before?
We did FIFO earlier, yeah.
No, okay, let me see. Let me see how long this questionnaire goes for.
Oh, this is LIFO.
Oh yeah. Okay. So okay. I see what I did here. I assume we were supposed to go all the way down to question 12. So let's go ahead and now that we got the first thing going on, so let's go ahead and try to complete as much as we can, and if not, we'll continue with tomorrow. So let's go, because we just finished question 1. Question 2, we already journalized it, and we completed the actual process into that. So now question number 3 is continue your inventory from question number 1. Your inventory method is periodic, and it's still FIFO. So again, here it says on June 30th, you have a total of 1,250 toys on hand. So let's go ahead and look at our worksheet here. So from question 1, yes, we're supposed to have from our first batch, right, or our second batch, I guess, or June 10th batch, we still have whatever 680 minus 850 is. Okay, so I think that's about 50 left or 40. And then we have our 500 from this batch, and then we have our 600, but not, we have 600, and then we have 20 from our previous batch. So the first thing that we gotta do is we need to transfer our information over into our second worksheet here. So first things first is we need to make sure that our inventory on hand is going to reflect our grand total of $1,250. So I'm going to go ahead and do my little equal sum column here. And make sure I get everything. Okay, because our most important thing is that we need to make sure that our beginning balance is going to be $1,250. Okay, and with that being said, that means we're going to transfer everything over, and we're going to keep it in the exact order that we have it in our previous batch. So the let me see, going back to here, so we have our first batch, which is now June 10th, because we already got rid of our first batch. So we still have remaining inventory items here. We have whatever 850 minus the 680 is. So we have that remaining in this batch here, which I'm going to calculate 850 minus 680. So we have a total, 170 items left. And we know for a fact, because when we were calculating it, right, since we didn't make any returns, so we still have all 850 items. However, we got it discounted. So we need to make sure that we have this. And of course, we're going to throw it in there. So it's for 219. Okay, if you actually do the calculation here, if you actually do the calculation here, it should be the full amount of your, what is it? Of the, so it's the 1095, right? Minus 8. So I'll go ahead and show it to you here. So 1095 minus 876 should give you 219. Okay, so that's where I got that number from, is that I multiplied it by this number right here with the remaining batch I had. So it was for $219. Okay. Now that we have that one transferred over, now our next one is the 500 units at $1.50. Now, do we actually have the 500 units? No, we returned 20 of them at $1.50. So now we need to go ahead and calculate that amount in there. We don't have 500, we have 480. So I'm going to go here, right? We have 500 minus 20, giving you 480. And we have the total cost here to be um, my 775, right? Minus my 30, okay, to give me a grand total of 745. And again, I'm going to calculate my average cost per item just in case I need to, okay? Just in case I have to calculate the cost per item. And if I expand it, I know it is not an even number, right? And then lastly, we're going to transfer our last batch in here, which in this case, we purchased it for the full 600 units, okay? And we know that we didn't make any returns. So this is for the full batch for the 180 to give us a grand total of this much amount, which gives us 1080. Now, with that being said, we're going to double confirm that our ending balances do match. So we have a total of $12.50 costing me at $20.44, which is exactly what I have here in my ending balance. So I transferred everything over successfully, making sure that I made everything clear and as possible, okay? So this is the actual numbers that you're actually going to be utilizing. You don't need to do any more calculations because we've already confirmed, adjusted, and everything here. So this is our solid numbers that we're going to be utilizing for our beginning inventory, okay? So there you go. So again, we're not practicing journalizing anymore. We're just going to go straight forward to just doing the worksheet so we can understand and how to fully understand what happens when we make purchases and what happens when we make our returns. Okay. So on July 5th, you made a purchase of 500 toys at $1.65 with a freight cost of $25. So by looking at our inventory worksheet here, we have July 5th. We bought, how many units did we buy?
500.
500. Okay, 500 at $1.65 with a freight of 25. So let's go ahead and solve our little numbers here. What is my total purchase price going to be?
825.
825. What is my total cost going to be?
850.
And bringing my total cost per item to be
170.
170 even. Is it even? I'm going to go ahead and expand just to double confirm. It is even. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and format all of this. Okay. So good. What happened next?
Then July 10, we purchased 800 toys at $1.80.
Rate of 40. So here we are on July 10. 800 units at $1.80 with a freight of 40. So how much is my total purchase price here?
1440.
Plus 40, giving my total cost to be
1480.
1480, giving my cost per item to be
185.
1850. Oh, sorry, 185. Yes, $1.85. Good. So then what happened on July 11th?
We returned 100 defective toys for a full refund.
Okay. So what do we do? What do we do in our worksheet?
Returns and allowances.
So we returned 100 items. How much did it cost me? Yes, we have two different prices, but remember, usually general rule of thumb is, are you going to make a return on the when you purchase it on the 5th and you wait a week later to return something, or are you going to return the most recent batch?
Most recent.
General rule of thumb is it's most likely going to be the most recent one. So how much did it cost me to purchase the most recent batch?
$14.40.
Mm. How much did it cost me per unit?
$1.80.
Mm-hmm. $1.80. Because I'm returning, I can only return the purchase price, the unit price. I can't return the freight. So therefore, I'm returning out of the 800 items I purchased, I'm returning 100 of them at $1.80, giving me a grand total of $180. Good. Okay. Then what happened next on July 20th?
You purchased 300 toys at $1.85.
You purchased 300 toys at $1.85 with a freight of 15. So going back up to the top, on July 20, we purchased 300 toys at $185 with a freight of 15. So how much is my total purchase price here?
555.
555. And what is my total cost going to be?
570.
570, bringing my total cost per item to be
1.90.
$1.90. Okay, good. So then what happened on July 21st?
50 toys was the wrong color. Got 20% discount.
Okay, so we got a 20% discount off of attempt to return 50 toys because they were the wrong color. So how are we going to calculate this? How many items am I actually returning?
None.
None, because we accepted a discount for it. But how much did it cost me per unit, just so then I can know what number to look for?
$1.85.
$1.85. And how much was the discount for?
20%.
So we were returning 50 toys, and we're going to get 20% of it. Now, how much is that?
18.5.
Okay, so we're returning 50, okay, and 20% of that. And you said it was 18.50. Good. Okay, good. Now I keep these little number points so then they're kind of references so then I can look to see which one is which. If it makes more sense to you to go ahead and insert a little extra thing here for a date, you're more than welcome to do so, especially when we transferred everything over in here. You can do so if you'd like. I have no problem with you guys modifying my worksheets to how it makes more sense to you. But if it makes more sense to you that this is for this particular batch, you may do so. Go ahead and add that little date there. Okay? All right. So then, what has happened next on July 25th?
You purchased 100 toys at $1.75.
Freight $5. So you purchase 100 toys. So July 25th, 100 toys at $1.75 with a freight of $5. So what is my total purchase price here?
175.
175 plus $5 to give me 180, giving me a cost per unit to be
180. $1.80.
$1.80. Okay. And then last but not least, you have a total of 600 toys on hand. So now that we reached our end of July, this is where we're going to do our inventory conversion. So we know that our end goal is that we have 600. 600 left. Okay. So let's go ahead and tally up our totals and figure out the rest of this problem. So equals sum. So how many items did we make purchases in total?
1,700.
1,700. What was my total purchase price?
$29.95.
$29.95. Good. What was my total freight?
85.
It is, let me see, 85. And then what is my total cost going to be?
$30.80.
$30.80. Right, good. Now let's go ahead and fill out my table down below. So quantity I have here is 1,700. My cost is going to be the $29.95. Now, we need to also solve for my total returns and allowances. So I'm going to go ahead and put my formula here, equals sum. So how many in total of items did I return?
100.
100. And how much did it cost me in total? Or how much did I actually refund?
365. No, total.
Uh-huh.
198.50.
Yeah, 198.50. Okay, so now I can bring that over here and plug in those numbers here. So I have a return of 100 items at a total for 198.50. So with that being said, now we need to subtract them because we no longer have these items. So what is my total what's my total subtotal right now?
1,600.
1,600 at how much?
$2,796.50.
Good. We have our freight of $85. So bringing our total net purchases to be 1,600 at how much?
2881.50.
2081.50. Good. Now here's the crucial part. Do we have beginning inventory?
Yes.
Yes. 1,250 at how much?
2044.
2044. We're going to carry down our net purchases here. And now we need to add up because we have a grand total here of goods available to be 2850 at a total of 4925.50. Okay. Now, if we have 600 units left on hand, how many items did we sell in grand total?
2450.
2450?
50. 2250. Sorry.
Yeah, 2250. Perfect. So that's going to be our number that we're going to be calculating to solve for our total cost of goods sold. So I'm going to go and highlight this whole row. And I am going to proceed. So what method are we using?
FIFO.
FIFO. So which batch are we actually going to be utilizing first?
500.
500, okay? Where does this 500 belong from?
That's the
Use our inventory on hand first.
We need to use our inventory on hand first because that's technically our beginning inventory. That's what we started off with, right? If the concept of first in, first out, pretty much this is what we purchased first. And then everything after that is what we purchased afterwards. So now we have that idea. So now we actually have to look at our inventory on hand first. All right. So which batch are we actually going to be looking into first?
The 170.
170. Yes, you could do the whole thing if it makes it easier for you because the whole thing is 1250.
1250.
So you don't have to itemize it because in this easy sense, we know we're going to get rid of the 1250 anyways. So there's really no point to have to separate each and every single cost because we know this whole thing is gone. So 1250 just right there. So make sure you guys know where this 1250 came from. It was our entire inventory on hand. No point to have to itemize it because we're going to get rid of all of it anyway. So therefore we got rid of 1250. How much more do we need to go now?
1,000.
1,000. So now that we got rid of this, so I'm going to go on and highlight this whole thing so we know that we got rid of it. Okay. What batch is now going to come next?
July 5th.
July 5th for the 500. Now, do we actually still have the entire 500?
No, we have
No.
400.
Wait,
Four.
now let's be careful here. Did we actually make a return off the 500 items?
Oh no, we make return of 800 items.
Correct. So in this case, so that make sure that's why it's very crucial that you understand how this works and make sure that you're very careful. So we actually do have the full 500 available. And we're going to get rid of the whole thing anyway. So in this case, we don't need to calculate it because we know we're going to get rid of the whole thing for 850. So this whole thing is now gone. All right. So now that we're there, so we have a total of 1750. How much more are we actually going to be needing to sell?
500.
You need to sell 500. Good. But first off, we need to make the adjustment first because now that we recognize that out of that 800 batch, we actually don't have 800. We only have 700 because we made a return. So now we have to make the adjustment first so we can get the correct number of unit per cost because we also have to adjust the cost as well. So if we know that 800 items, right? And we are returning 100, we have a total of 700. Now let's look at the cost. If it cost me a total of $14.80, right? And we are returning 180, what is my total cost going to be now?
1,300.
1,300. So therefore, I need to go ahead and calculate my new cost per item with the new adjustment. So taking my $1,300, dividing it by 700 now, giving me my cost per item to be $1,857,142. Okay, yada yada yada. Okay, so this is where I could go ahead and clear these numbers. So you have to type it in if you're going to do that. Okay, so now that I have my cost per unit and we know we need to sell 500 more items, right, to get our 2250. Now my formula here is going to be my equal round because I want to make sure I get a round number. And I'm actually going to start calculating this so I get a cost per unit so I get a more accurate number. So what is my total cost for selling these 600 items? I'm sorry, 500 items.
928, 57 or 60.
Perfect. So 657, what did you say, 57 something 60?
57, yeah.
Perfect. You round here because, again, you can't technically sell a quarter of a penny or whatever it is, a tenth of a penny. So there you go. Now that it is rounded, 57 cents, Now you have your total of selling 250 items at $3,822.57, bringing your ending inventory to be what is your total ending inventory here?
$1,111.92.93.
1102.93. Good. Okay. And now we completed our entire worksheet. So question number 4 asks you to complete another conversion entry. So to save some time and some stuff, I'm going to go ahead and copy the previous one's entry from here, right? We're doing the same thing. We have our toys, we have our cost of goods sold, we have our purchase returns and allowances, and we have our purchases and our freight. So I'm going to go ahead and copy it here. And we know that this was from July 31st. So first things first is we're going to recognize how much was our ending inventory.
1102.93.
And then how much did we actually sold?
3822.57.
Good. And how much was my purchase returns and allowances for?
198.50.
198.50.
Good. And then what was my total purchases for?
2881.50.
That is adjusting.
I'm sorry, yeah, 29.95.
Yeah, $29.95. And lastly, how much was my freight for?
85.
Okay. So let's go ahead and double confirm that my debits and credits match.
No.
No. So what did we do wrong here? Let me see. Oh, we forgot our beginning inventory. Where does beginning inventory go?
Well,
It goes here. We have beginning inventory. What was our total beginning inventory?
1250.
It was for the 1250, which is the exact amount that you are looking for. 1250. Oh, sorry. The 1250 is what we had for our unit quantity, but the amount was 2044, and that should give you your total now. Okay. So there you go. And if we do this again, it should be equal now. See, there you go. 5124. Okay. So now, as you can see, now every single concept that we're bringing in, we're applying everything and we're piecing it together. We looked at what our returns and allowances did. Now we're looking at what happens when you have returns and allowances, as well as including beginning inventory. Okay, so now as we progress, this is the last of it. That's all that I'm going to be teaching you. There's actually one more, but this is going to be more applied for when we do our fictitious business. We're going to see what happens when purchase discounts actually comes into play, which is, yes, we're going to talk about that on Thursday when we do our chapter 5 and 6 review, or it's chapter 5 and 6 exercises. So any questions so far? Okay, so here we got to see a purchase returns and allowances, and we got to see beginning inventory. No questions?
No questions.
Okay, so let me see. Right now it is 11 o'clock. Let's try to get the next 2 questions out of the way, and then tomorrow we will resume the last section and go over chapter 6. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what is next. Okay, so now that we're finished with this one, our next section here is saying, all right, so question number 5, your inventory method is periodic and it's LIFO. Assume that all purchases was made on an account. Round to the nearest penny. So this is assuming we're not going to have any beginning inventory. We're starting fresh all over. So now this time we're doing FIFO, and the dates are a little different. So on August 5th, you purchased 1,200 toys at $1 each, with the freight costing you $50. So here, August 5th, 1,200 toys at $1 each, with the freight costing you $50. So what is my total purchase price?
1,200.
1,200. Good. Right, so it's going to be my quantity times my unit price. All right, plus my freight's going to give me how much total cost?
1,250.
1,250, bringing my cost per item to be
104, 1666.
Okay, so this number is going to be an unrounded number, right? So let's see what happened next. Okay, on August 7th, you returned 200 toys the wrong color, but it's willing to accept a 20% discount. Okay. So from here, how many items are we attempting to return?
200.
But did we actually return them?
No, 0.
No. Okay. How much did it cost me? There's only one batch. Okay. So one. So now this is where I do my little math here. If I am attempting to return 200 items at $1 each, and I'm getting 20% back from that, how much am I actually getting back?
$40.
40. 20% of $200 is indeed $40. Okay, so remember how we calculated that. First, we got to see how much we're actually returning. We're returning 200 items at $1 each, bringing my grand total to be 200. But I'm not getting refunded for the full amount. I'm only getting 20% back. So 20% of 400 is indeed, 20% of 200 is indeed $40. Okay. So then what has happened next on August 10?
We purchased 750 toys at $1.25.
Okay, with a freight of 45. So 75 at 125 and 45. So here, August 10, we got 750 at $1.25 with a freight of 45. So what's my total purchase price here?
937
Mm-hmm. When my grand total cost is going to be
98250.
good, bringing my cost per item to be
1.31.
31.
okay. So $1.31 even. Good. All right. Then on August 11th, you return 50 broken toys for a full refund. So let's do 50 broken toys for a full refund. Okay. So we are returning actual 50 toys for a full refund, assuming that it cost me how much for each toy?
125.
125.
Yes, $1.25. Bringing my grand total to refund to be 62.50. Good. Then on August 20th, we purchased 400 toys at $1.50 with a freight costing $25. Okay, so 400 at 150, 25. So August 20, 400 at 150 with freight
600.
cost of
600.
okay, yes, 600. Okay, with a freight costing me 25. So what is my total here?
625.
625. Okay, and
You got the
then
wrong date.
I have the wrong date. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look, my bad. So August 10. Thank you. All right, giving me my cost per item to be
1.56.
1.5625. So you got a quarter of a penny here. All right, and then let's see what had happened next. On August 25th, you purchased another 600 units at $1.75, costing you $30 freight. So on August 25th, we purchased another 600 items at $1.75 with a freight of 30, was it? Yes, 30.
30.
Okay, so what's my total purchase price here?
1050.
1050.
Yes, $10.50, and my total cost is going to be
1080.
$10.80, bringing my cost per item to be
$1.80.
$1.80. Good. All right. Second to last, on the 26th of August, you returned 25 defective toys for a full refund. So you're returning 25 items, okay, for a full refund. How much did I originally purchase this one from? For
175.
$1.75. Yes, we're assuming we're picking it up from the most recent batch. Okay. And how much is that going to cost me? Or how much am I getting back?
43.75.
$43.75. Okay. And then last but not least, you have a total of 1,500 toys left on hand. All right, so I'm going to plug that number in at the very bottom here for 1,500. Okay, so now that we reach the end of our table, we got to automatically sum up our totals here. Okay, so here's the first total. What's my total quantity?
2950.
Yes. And then what's my total purchase price?
3787.50.
Good. And what's my total freight expense?
150.
150. And what is my total cost?
3937.50.
3937.50. So again, I'm going to plug in my numbers here, just as what we've been doing before. Okay. We need to go ahead and total up our total returns and allowances. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in my formula here, just so that I can get a number. So what is the total amount of items I actually returned?
75.
75. And how much did it cost me, or how much am I refunded for?
146.25.
146.25. I'm going to plug those numbers in here because I no longer have them anymore. So bringing my subtotals to be in quantity. How much should I have left?
28.75.
28.75, and my grand total cost should be
36.41.25.
36.41.25. Freight has no effect on quantity, but it does have effect on the actual total cost. So I'm going to bring down my 150. And now what is my total net purchases? What is my total net purchases?
37.91.25.
37.91.25. Okay. We don't have any beginning inventory yet, so that should be 0. We're going to carry down our net purchases to give us a total goods available to be the same as our net purchases. Okay. Now that we know that we have a total of 1,500 left on hand, how many items did I actually sell?
1375.
1375. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and calculate my cost of goods sold. So let me put in my formula here so we can keep track of how many items we actually sold. Okay, so here now this is a new concept because we need to look at our different costing methods. So in this case, how are we actually costing out our inventory?
Start on the bottom.
We're going to start from the bottom. Yes, we're going to start with August 25th. Now, let's look at August 25th. Do we have everything in August 25th?
We have returned.
Yes, we have a return. So how much was that return for? Or how many items did we actually return?
25.
We actually returned 25. Okay. And then how much did I actually got refunded for?
43.75.
43.75, bringing me a grand total to be the 1036.25. Okay, so all I did was took the total cost of the entire batch for the August 25th and subtracted out the return there. Okay, and because we're using the whole entire batch, we don't need to calculate a new cost per item. Okay, because we're going to get rid of it anyway, so there's no point. Right? Now that we sold our first 575 items, how many more do we need to keep selling?
800.
Yes, we need to keep going. So our next batch of 400, okay, so we're going to take from now that we got rid of this batch, let me highlight it so then you guys know that we got rid of it. So what comes next? Which batch are we taking out next?
August 20th, which is right above, but you get the wrong date.
Oh, yeah, sorry about that. So August 20. Okay, there you go. So yes, 400. Now, did we make any returns or allowances on those 400 items?
No.
No, so we have the whole entire batch right here, right? And we know without having to calculate the cost per item, it's going to cost me a total of $625 because we're going to get rid of the whole entire batch anyways. So we have a total of 975. How many more items now do we have left to sell? So let me get rid of this one.
400.
We need 400 and how many?
400, I said.
Just 400. Good. Now let's look at our batch here for the batch of 750. Did we make any changes to this batch of 750?
Yes.
Yes, we did. Right? We made a return. How many items did we return? We returned 50 of them for a full refund. So therefore, we actually got rid of our items. So now we need to recalculate our new cost per item because now we don't have 750 anymore. Oops. We don't have 750 anymore. How many items do we actually have?
700.
Only 700. And if it originally cost me, what is that, $982.50, and we got a refund for $62.50, how much is our actual total cost now?
$920.
$920 is our amount of total cost that we actually have. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and punch in 920 divided by 700 because now we need a new cost per item. So I got this amount right there. Okay. And now we can go ahead and type in how many items we need to sell left. So as I recall, Irina, you said 400. We need to sell 400 more or 800 more. Sorry. Was it 800 or
400.
400 more? Okay. So there you go. 1375, which is perfect. Now we actually need to calculate our amount here. Okay. So now that we're not getting rid of 700, we're actually getting rid of a specific amount. So we need to multiply it because we need to calculate the actual cost per item, right? To find out how much in total this of how many total items we sold. So in this case, how much did it cost me to sell 400 items at $1.3142.85?
525.71.
525.71, which I've already did my little sum at the bottom. So in grand total, for selling the 1,375 items, it cost me a total of $2,186.96. So therefore, how much is my ending inventory going to be?
1604.
1604.29 because we took it directly from the goods available, all right, and we subtract out our total cost of goods sold. So here we should have an ending balance of 1604.29. Okay. So good. Any questions here? So this is where we actually took in from the bottom and made our way up to the top. Any questions here?
Nope.
All right.
Nope.
All right. Same scenario here. We're going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and save some time here by copying the journal here and bringing it across to question number 6. And of course, we know that this was done on August 31st. Okay. What was our total ending inventory for this August sales?
1604.
1604. my total cost of goods sold.
To
2186.
Yeah, 2186.96. I'm going to go ahead and expand this real quick. Okay. What was my total purchase returns and allowances?
146.25.
Yes, 146.25. And then what was my total purchases here?
3787.
3787.
Perfect. And my total freight
The 150.
is the 150. There you go. And lastly, we're going to just double confirm that our debits match our credits. So I got 39, 37.50, 39, 37.50. So, yay. Now here what you can do here for the little description, you can go ahead and write conversion entry. Conversion entry for periodic inventory. Okay, that's what you can type in for this journal entry, because and we'll talk about the difference between an adjustment entry versus okay, so this is considered an adjustment entry. It happens at the end of a given period, and we'll talk more about that as we go through the rest of the class things and when we actually piece together when we do our whole entire project. So that's what you got to do for the journal here. All right. So let me see. We still got 15 minutes. So let's go ahead and continue on, and tomorrow we will finish up the rest of this. So now that we're done with question number 5 and question number 6, now let's go ahead and continue. Okay, so continue the inventory from question number 5. Your inventory method is still periodic and it is still LIFO. Okay, but here's a little snippet here. We actually have beginning inventory. So from August 31st, you have 1,500 toys on hand. So just like what we did before, right? We're actually going to go ahead and copy the information from our worksheet from before. Okay, so we know that we have at least 2 remaining batches, right? Because we have a total of 1,500, so we have to transfer our 1,200, and we also have to transfer our remaining batch of the 700, right? We made the adjustment to that one, and we're going to plug it in to our other side. So question number 7 here on our inventory worksheet. Our first batch that we ever purchased was in fact the 1,200. Okay. And we didn't make any inventory changes to this one except for we actually received a discount, right? That was the first thing that happened was when we made the purchase of the 1,200 units, we ended up trying to attempt to return, we attempted to return 200 toys, but we actually got a 20% discount. So in this case, the only thing that we're adjusting is our total cost per item here. Adjusting our total cost, and then we have to adjust our cost per item. So by going here, we're going to go ahead and take a look at our information. How much did it cost us in total for those 1,200 items? It cost us $12.50. But we also returned $40 of it. So now our new total is $12.10. And we're going to do as usual is complete the cost per item. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and expand this. There you go. So now you know it's not just $1.01. It's actually $1.83, and so on and so forth. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and also do the equal sum because we also need to make sure that our information is correct at all times. Or we need to make sure that our beginning inventory reflects what we calculated from the previous worksheet. So here's that. So we have so far 210, and now we're going to actually carry over the remaining batch from the previous section. So as we remembered, this was a total of 700, and we actually sold 400 of it. So what is the total amount that we're supposed to have in return?
We should have 300 left.
We should have 300 left. Yes. Okay, so let me go ahead and there you go, 300. And because we did actually solve for our cost per item in question number 5, which is going to be this amount. So therefore, how much should this actually be reflecting? Now, there's two ways you can calculate this. Best that you should do instead of doing the equal round, because you could have that possibility of having that penny off. So if you do the equal round, just make sure that you confirm that this is the correct number and that this is the actual amount that you're supposed to be actually having left on inventory on hand. And what I mean by that is, so am I supposed to have a total of $893.29? So did we get 1604.29? And in this case, yes, we did get. Okay, question 5. We did get 604.29. So for any reasons that you may have rounded this number here too early, or because of due to the rounding issues, right? Instead of having it at 525.70, right? You could have 70, yada, 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 yada. Since it's rounded to 71, this is what I mean by getting that error when you calculate it over here, is that if you just multiply these, right? If you rounded that previous number, you want to make sure that this is matching just as well. So best way to find out this number, if you have this kind of long number, is to go ahead and calculate that total again and then subtract the amount that you actually sold. But in this case, everything panned out just fine. We got our 1500 from our beginning, and it matched 1604.29. So now we can begin our scenario. So again, on September 5th, we have purchased 650 toys at $1.65, costing $25 freight. So September 5th, 9/5, 650 units at $1.65. And freight was $25.
M72.
Okay, so here we're looking at our total purchase price to be $1072.50. Okay, what is my total cost going to be?
$1097.50.
All right, $1097.50, bringing my cost per item to be
1.68846.
1.68846. So let me go ahead and expand that so you guys know that this is actually going to be an expanded number. Okay. All right, so then what has happened next?
We purchased September 10,000 toys at $1.80.
Okay, with a freight of 40. So we purchase another 1,000 items on September 10. 1,000 items at $1.80 with a freight of 40. So that brings my purchase price to be
1,800.
1,800,
with a total cost to be
1840,
$18.40, bringing my cost per item to be
184.
$184 even. All right. So then what happened on September 12th?
We returned 50 defective toys for a full refund.
Okay. We actually returned, how many items did we return? 50?
Yep,
Okay. How much did it cost me?
$1.80.
Assuming that it's always the previous batch. So how much was my total refund?
$90.
$90 even. Okay. Good. And then what has happened next on September 20th
Then we purchased 500 toys at $1.85.
with a freight cost of 20. So 500 at $1.85. Okay. So September 20th, September 9/20, we purchased 500 units at $1.85. Was it 500 units? Let me double check.
925.
Yeah, we purchased 500 toys at $1.85 with the freight of $20. Okay, so what was that, Nilo? What did you get for the purchase price?
925.
$925, and my grand total here is going to be
$9.45.
bringing my total cost per item to be
$1.89.
$1.89. Okay. So we're almost done here. So on September 22nd, you returned 100 toys the wrong color for a full refund. So in this case, we're not going to accept a discount. We're going to tell the guy, "No. I want my money back. I don't care if it's the wrong color. I don't care. I want my money back." So how are you going to place this in your inventory worksheet?
100.
So we're actually going to return the full 100 items, right? At how much?
$1.75.
Was it $1.75?
$1.85, sorry.
Wait, hold on. I'm going to double confirm that because I have two 85s on there. So I have 165, 180, and 185. Okay, yeah. Okay, everything looks good. Okay, so yes for $1.85. And how much in total is that am I going to get a refund for?
$185.
185 even. Good. All right, second to last, on September 25th, you purchase another 100 toys for $1.75 with a freight costing you $5. So this one's pretty simple. So on September 25th, we purchase 100 toys at $1.75 with a freight of $5. So what is my total purchase price going to be here
175.
175.
with a total cost,
180.
bringing my cost per item to be
$1.80.
$1.80. Okay, good. And then last but not least, on September 30th, you have a total of 750 toys on hand. So I'm going to go ahead and plug that number in. So here we are, plugging our ending balance as 750 items. Okay, so same as what we've been doing before. What we got to do once we reach the end of a given period is, now we got to calculate our sums of our totals here. So what was my total quantity here?
2250.
2250. And then what was my total purchases?
3,972.
Yes. Good. And then what was my total freight?
90,
$90.
Bringing my grand total cost to be
40, 6250.
40, 60, 250. So again, I'm going to fill out my little table like this. Okay, so this again, a lot of rinse and repeating. Okay, now how much items did I actually return?
150.
I'm just going to go ahead and take a shortcut here. So I returned 150 at how much? How much did I get back?
275.
275. So plugging that number in here again, if I returned a total of 150 at a grand total of 275, what is my subtotal going to be?
2075.
So we got 21,
Yeah, 2100. Sorry.
no worries, 2100 at how much? What's my cost going to be?
3697.50.
Okay. Freight has no effect on quantity, but we're going to add our $90 to bring our total net purchases to be
3787.50.
3787.50. So now this is where it comes into play. So now we actually have beginning inventory of 1,500 items, costing me a grand total of $1604.29. So now that I plug those numbers in, I bring down my net purchases. So now I need to calculate my total goods available. So how much do I have available to sell?
3600.
Okay, and how much is my total cost going to be for that?
5391.79.
Good. Okay. So if my ending balance is going to be 750, how many items did I actually sell?
2850.
2850. All right, so this is where we're going to be doing our calculations again, and then could be tricky for you guys as well. So let's go ahead and do this time because we actually have beginning inventory to deal with. So here I'm going to place my formula in here so we can always know how much we are at a given time. So here we are. Okay. So what is the method that we are using to calculate the cost of our inventory?
LIFO.
LIFO. So which batch are we actually going to be looking at first?
Inventory on hand.
No.
Oh, no. September 25th. Sorry.
September 25th, yes, because our inventory on hand is going to act as if we are transferring from the purchases from before, right? It's acting as if this was August 31st. Okay, so that's our inventory on hand. But because we're looking at LIFO, right, we don't care. Actually, well, we do now. But we care that our first batch here is in August. But we care that the order that we're looking at it is we're going to cost the most recent one that we just purchased. So in this case, we're going to get rid of our first one, which is the September 25th. Now, in this case, did we make any adjustments to our September 25th?
No.
No. So we can go ahead and take the whole batch of this here for the 180. And obviously I'm going to go ahead and reference that so you guys know where that 100 came from. So there you go. we took out our last batch right here for our 180. Okay? So then how many more do we need to get rid of?
2750.
2750. So what's the next batch we're going to be looking into now?
We're looking at September 20th.
Correct. But do we have all 500 items?
No,
No. How many do we actually have?
400.
We actually only have 400. So in this case, I'm going to take my 500, but I also know that I have a return. So I only have 400 items left. And in this case, because I've made a return, my 845, I need to also make an adjustment there because I returned $180, $85 worth of it. So I'm actually only getting I'm only actually paying $750. Okay. So again, the way that you can look at it too is you could take 400 times the 185 plus the $30 freight to get this 760. But in this case, I'm going to take my total cost and just subtract whatever amount I returned. So in this case, I'm going to use the whole entire batch because that's only 400 items I sold. I only sold a total now 500 items. So I got to keep going. So this batch is done. All right. What's the next batch I'm actually going to be taking a look at now?
September 10th.
September 10. Now, question to you is, do I actually have all 1,000 items?
No.
Let's see. So we purchased 1,000 items, but we made a return of 50 items for a full refund. So no, we don't have the full 1,000. We only have a mere 950. So here I'm going to take my 1,000. I'm going to subtract out my 50 item return to get me a grand total of 950. And in this case, again, I'm going to grab my total cost of 1840 and I'm going to subtract my return of the $90 to get me a total of 1750. Now the question is, am I taking the whole batch of 950 out?
Yes.
Yes, so I don't need to calculate my new cost per item because I'm going to get rid of it anyways. So it doesn't matter, you don't need to calculate it here. All right? So now that I got rid of this batch right here, what batch am I going to go next?
September 5th.
September 5th, which is the 650. Did I make any returns or anything to that 650 batch?
No.
No. Good. So that means I still have the whole 650 batch, right? I just made a pure purchase, no returns, so I'm taking the whole amount of 650. Now, wait. Before I do that, am I taking the whole amount or am I taking a portion of this?
No, the whole amount.
We're taking the whole amount because we need to get rid of 2,850. And by doing so, as you guys know, it's going to be for the total cost of the 1097.50. So that means this whole batch is gone. Completely gone. Done. All right? We calculated everything. We made our adjustments, and now our total right now is 2,100 items at our 3787.50, which in fact we know that because that's what our net purchases was for. So you could have, if you calculated this earlier, you would have figured this out that we would have gotten rid of our total net purchases, but that's okay. I wanted to do this for practice purposes, okay? So now that we got rid of our whole entire net purchases, what batch is going to come next?
Our inventory on hand.
Our
started.
inventory on hand. Now, because I transferred it exactly the way I made my purchases from the previous page, which batch am I actually going to take out from first?
300.
300 because we're doing bottom and making our way to the top. So here we already calculated it here ourselves that this 300 is here. Now, are we going to take the whole entire 300?
Yes.
Yes, because we need to take out the 300. So therefore, we know what the total cost of the 300 is. We know it's going to be for the 394 and 29 cents. So right there, we can go ahead and get rid of this whole entire batch here. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and highlight this and say that we also got rid of this item here. All right, now all we have left is our 1200 batch. How many more items do we need to sell in order to get our ending balance? Or how many more items do we need to sell to reach? 450 to reach our 2850. So because we know this and we've actually calculated the cost per item beforehand, we don't need to do it again. So we know that it's going to cost me $1 and 0.83 cents. Okay, so by me transferring this piece of information, because we've already calculated it from before, so what is going to be my total cost for selling these 450 items? Oh, my bad, wrong formula. Equal round. So what's my total cost going to be here?
453.74.
453.75, because we round up because it goes 4 something something something. Okay, good. So here we have it at 453.75. And because I've been keeping track and totaling up all my values, my total cost of goods sold is going to be for the $4,635.54, bringing my ending balance to be 756.25. Okay, so that's how we actually complete this time LIFO, right, with beginning inventory and also looking at what happens when we have purchase returns and allowances. So good job, everybody. Now the last thing that we got to do is, of course, complete our journal. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this from question number 4 because we have beginning inventory. So we don't forget about that. Okay, so copy this over. And we're on question number, we just finished 7, so question number 8. Placing that here. We know that this is going to be on September 30th. Okay. So what was the value of our ending inventory? Hold on, let me fix my table real quick. Or my journal, sorry. Okay, so what was the total balance in my ending, wrong section. What was the total balance of my ending inventory that I solved in this question right here?
756.25.
Good. What was my total cost of goods sold? Oh, sorry. Question 7. What was my total cost of goods sold?
4,635.
Good. What was my purchase returns and allowances?
275.
275 even. What was my total purchases?
39.72.50.
Correct. And what was my total freight?
150.
Not 150.
Oh,
It's 90 on this one.
It's 90 on this one. Yes, correct. And then lastly, what is my beginning inventory?
it was 1,604.29.
Correct. Now we're going to double check to confirm that my debits match my credits. So in this case, I got a grand total of 56,679. Let's see, 56,679 on both sides. So again, that is how you complete two scenarios now. We did FIFO first, right? No matter where we're at, whether we have beginning inventory, we're going to start from the top and we're going to make our way to the bottom. Now, this is flip reverse, and now looking at LIFO, right? We start from the bottom and make our way from the top. Even if we have beginning inventory, that still stays true. We start from the bottom and make our way to the top. So in this case, the top for LIFO is going to be our beginning inventory all the way down to our net purchases. So we're going to start from our net purchases and make our way to the top. So this is a perfect example of what happens when you actually realize that you have these real life scenarios happen. When you receive inventory, not everything's going to be perfect, because the first thing that you have to do is open all the boxes, check to make sure your products are working, check to see if you have broken products, and etc., etc. Make sure that the shipment is all correct. So in this case, now that we know that everything is correct, any questions in regards to this at all? Tomorrow we're going to go ahead and finish up the moving average.
No?
No? No questions? Okay. Well, then you guys are free to go. Happy Tuesdays for you guys. I'll see you guys all tomorrow, finishing up this, and we're going to cover chapter 3.